On May 30, 2026, at La Noche de los Grandes, we finally discovered who was behind the mask of the so-called Original Grande Americano. Accompanied by his wife and children, we learned that Chad Gable had embodied the biggest rudo of 2026. But a luchador who was previously well known without a mask and then starts using one is not unheard of. Recently, I talked about El Mesías, who arrived to AAA as Muerte Cibernética when he had previously wrestled without a mask and with a different name. That's why discovering that Chad Gable was behind the mask of the Original Grande Americano was surprising, but not unheard of. I've said this before, Lucha Libre is full of second chances. And even if he got the character only because WWE wanted to bury the real story of El Grande Americano, Chad Gable proved that once you dive into the colorful world of Lucha Libre, once you breathe, hear, and taste the spirit of this sport intertwined with culture, you can't remain the same luchador. Charles Edward Betts was born in St. Michael, Minnesota back in 1986. And if we want to understand Chad Gable in the ring, we must first start with his amateur background. Gable was a really good high school wrestler in Minnesota, and that state takes wrestling very seriously. He went to Northern Michigan University and trained at the United States Olympic Education Center. He focused on Greco-Roman wrestling and actually made it to the very top. In 2012, he beat Jordan Holm to win the US Olympic trials in the 84-kilogram class. This got him on the US team for the London Summer Olympics. He won his first match there and lost his second. And even though he didn't win any medals, competing at that level proves that he's an elite athlete. After the Olympics, he decided he wanted to try professional wrestling. In late 2013, he signed with WWE and he was sent to their performance center in Florida. In 2014, now in WWE, he started using the name Chad Gable. You probably remember that he formed a tag team with Jason Jordan called American Alpha. And they were great to watch because they wrestled fast, threw a lot of suplexes, and worked perfectly together. Gable was the technical guy of the two, and fans loved him right away. They ended up winning the NXT Tag Team Championships and NXT TakeOver Dallas in 2016. Later that summer, WWE drafted American Alpha to SmackDown, and they didn't wait too long to put the titles on their waists. By December, they were already SmackDown Tag Team Champions. But then, WWE split them up in 2017 when they moved Jason Jordan to Raw. After that, Gable had to figure out what to do next. He started wrestling in single matches and formed new teams. He of course wrestled alongside Shelton Benjamin for a while, and he teamed up with Bobby Roode as well. That seemed like an odd pairing at first, but it worked out. They ended up winning the Raw Tag Team Championships at the end of 2018. Then came 2019 and things got weird for his character. Gable made it all the way to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament but lost to Baron Corbin. After that, in WWE they started calling him Shorty G. This was his new gimmick, and apparently it seemed like they were making fun of his height. Many fans felt frustrated watching this because he was still putting on great matches, but the name was just terrible. Eventually, and thank goodness, they dropped the name and he went back to his amateur roots. Then in late 2020, he started the Alpha Academy. He basically played the master role and started training Otis. It was funny seeing the technical guy with the big powerhouse. They actually had great chemistry and won the Rock Tag titles early in 2022. The group grew to include Maxine Dupree and Akira Tozawa. They became a comedy act but could still wrestle really well. His catchphrases like thank you and shush got very popular with the crowd. In the summer of 2023, the whole stable became fan favorites and Maxine Dupree even started wrestling. Later that year, Chad Gable got the chance to show what he could do in singles competitions once again. He chased the Intercontinental Championship, and as one could expect, he had great matches against Gunther. He even beat Gunther by countout, breaking his winning streak, but as we know, he didn't get the title. Things shifted once again in early 2024. Gable helped train Sami Zayn for his own Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania 40 because he was already familiar with Gunther. Zayn won the title and then gave Gable a shot at it as a sign of appreciation, but Gable lost. After the match, he attacked Zayn right in front of Zayn's wife. He poured out his frustrations with the Alpha Academy, blaming them for holding him back. He told them their only job now was helping him win the Intercontinental Championship. They did try to help him a few times, but it didn't work. Finally, at Clash at the Castle, Otis, Dupree, and Tozawa walked out on him, costing him the match. But Gable moved on quickly, and he formed a new group called American with the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile, 3 wrestlers who were the bigger and improved versions of his previous teammates. They spent the next few months feuding with the Wyatt Six, a new spooky group that had been targeting Gable. American eventually lost a street fight to them, ending that chapter. In 2025, Gable lost a match to Penta, the famous luchador who was making his debut in WWE. After his loss, he decided he needed to learn the mystic arts of lucha libre. He started a whole quest to understand it, and Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio's son, out of everyone, helped him. By March, a new character debuted, El Grande Americano. This apparently new character won a match at WrestleMania 41 against Rey Fenix. He even won the WWE Speed Championship from Dragon Lee, and at Worlds Collide, Chad Gable challenged El Hijo del Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. He lost that match, and then El Grande Americano wrestled in the Money in the Bank ladder match on the same day. This made people suspicious because it was undeniable that they looked similar, but at that point, nothing was confirmed. Not long after that, it was reported that Chad Gable hurt his shoulder and he had to step away from the ring. And once people noticed that El Grande Americano was absent as well, the rumors started again. Undoubtedly, El Grande Americano was a masked luchador that American fans had received well, but there was a far darker story that only Mexican fans knew about. As I shared in my video on the complete story of the real Grande Americano, the Grande Americano character has existed for many decades now in Mexico, and the one we see nowadays is actually the son of the first Grande Americano. And I recommend you go watch that video to fully understand the lore of the Mexican idol. In that video, I mentioned that the first Grande Americano neglected the copyright paperwork and he never registered his character. That's why WWE thought it would be easy for them to create another Grande Americano so international fans would believe that the Mexican legend was now part of the company. For the same reason, they started using AI promos to try and rewrite history. But once WWE bought AAA in 2025 and after Chad Gable got injured, the son of the real Grande Americano was able to appear in the WWE shows. He was now wrestling in enemy territory. In Mexico, he was welcomed as a hero, and the fans showed their love for him every time he went out to the ring. But the American fans, having been blinded by a lie, saw the authentic Americano as an impostor. In the Royal Rumble of 2026, the fake Americano returned to the ring, and he went directly after the man who rightfully carried the name. But he didn't care. He thought he had earned the moniker as well. This began a feud that developed in the United States and in Mexico. Whenever the Americanos appeared on American television, the real Grande Americano would be rejected by the fans, and the impostor would always be cheered for. But whenever they appeared in Mexico, the real Americano was hailed as a hero, while the fake Americano was always seen as just a bad copy. You could truly see the WWE favoring the fake Americano on February 7, 2026, when management announced the real Americano for a Rey de Reyes qualifying match. But before he could even walk down the ramp, the impostor jumped him backstage. He handcuffed him and literally stole his spot in the match. Not a single referee or executive stopped it or pointed out the obvious problem with taking someone else's place in a qualifier match. Fans here in Mexico were furious. We all thought our guy was completely out of the tournament. But things finally turned around on February 28th. The fake Americano attacked Pimpinela backstage for accusing him of being a ripoff of El Grande Americano. Before the ambulance took Pimpi away, he asked the real Americano to take his place in that night's Rey de Reyes qualifying match and to win it for him and for Mexico. The Mexican hero ended up winning the match. This felt like instant payback for both Pimpi and the real Americano. And yes, they won that fight, but the tournament final was still ahead of them. Then on March 14, we had the Rey de Reyes event. This tournament has been around for over 25 years, and fans really wanted to see the authentic hero win the sword. The final match put Santos Escobar, La Parca, the fake Americano, and our Grande Americano in the ring together. They fought hard, but the two Americanos ended up brawling all the way to the backstage area. For a minute, it looked like they took each other out of the competition. Then, the real Americano walked back to the ring. He took out La Parca, hit his finisher on Santos Escobar, and won the match. The crowd went crazy as the fake Americano stared at the winner from afar, handcuffed to a railing. But things went even further on April 11. The fake Americano unmasked Octagon Jr. during a match, and when Andrea Basarte was interviewing the comedian Ojitos de Huevo, who is blind, and said he was blind but could still see, the guy was fake. The impostor got mad and attacked him right there. He even cornered Andrea Basarte next, and right when things looked the worst, the real Grande Americano ran out. He fought the impostor all over the arena, and before the show ended, he grabbed the mic and challenged him to settle it with a máscara contra máscara match. The fans lost their minds over this challenge, and we all waited eagerly for that night. Finally, on May 30, 2026, La Noche de los Grandes took place in Monterrey, Mexico. The main event was set, and both luchadores came out to mariachi music. The sold-out arena felt electric, and those of us watching from the screen could feel the same energy. The match began when the fake Americano hit the hero with a guitar to the head. This brought back memories from the Rayo de Jalisco vs. Cien Caras match that started the same way and is a legendary mask vs. mask match in Lucha Libre. The match was everything we expected. The fake Americano tore Grande's mask and made him bleed, but the Mexican Idol returned the favor. You could tell they were giving it their all. They both wanted to prove they were worthy of the name El Grande Americano. Finally, when it seemed the real Grande was about to win, the Americano brothers interfered. This led to Rayo and Bravo coming out. Bravo was resolved to help his friend, and he risked his life by throwing himself from the second level of the arena just to stop the impostor's allies once and for all. Then the ghost of the fake Americano began to appear to stop him from winning and to punish him for his crimes. First, Ojitos de Huevo defended himself when the fake Grande tried to bully him once again. Then, Pimpy appeared on the ring disguised as a mariachi and broke a guitar on his head. The crowd went crazy when Pimpy took out the mask he was wearing. This seemed to be the end for the fake Grande, but he still kept going. The real Grande took out a bullwhip that belonged to Tejano Jr., who had previously been attacked by the impostor, but the fake Grande quickly took hold of it and used it to torture the hero in the ropes. Suddenly, a scene that reminded us of the great movie Nacho Libre unfolded. Andrea Basarte appeared among the fans and she looked straight at our hero. And they shared a moment possible only when true love exists. Seeing this, the fake Americano left the ring to face her. But our hero wouldn't let this beloved one be hurt. He came back and attacked him, taking him back to the ring. Both men looked at each other. There, on their knees, máscaras torn apart, faces painted red, they decided they wouldn't give up. They exchanged locks, first an ankle lock by the impostor and then la cavernaria by the idol. Neither man gave out. Finally, after taking and giving more damage, the fake Americano seemed to be barely staying up. The real Grande had to make him stand up, and bearing the pain in his ankle, he ran as if there were no tomorrow and gave him his signature head bump to the chest. The referee counted 1, 2, 3, and the match was over. There was now only one Grande Americano. The fans in attendance and all of Mexico and beyond celebrated. But as we waited for the moment for the original Grande Americano to unmask, an image changed everybody's sentiment. A woman and 3 children stood in the ring alongside the man who had lost the match. Suddenly, we didn't see him as a villainous rudo. We saw him as a man with a beautiful family. His son was wearing gear just like his dad's. And in a culture so focused on family, seeing this brought tears to the eyes of many who witnessed it. The original Grande Americano took out his mask, and it was then that it all made sense. It was Chad Gable who was under the mask. And the few words he spoke changed everybody's perspective. He said he had begun using the character as a way of mocking Lucha Libre. And this makes sense since we know it was the suits in WWE who put him under the mask to capitalize on an already existing character. But he also said he now understood what Lucha Libre was really about. He understood the culture and he even valued it now. Chad Gable now respected Lucha Libre. He gave the mask to the winner and said, "You are now the only Grande Americano. But don't forget, I'll always be the original Grande Americano." Wrestling and Lucha Libre fans like you and me understand what really happened in the story of the Americanos. We know why the man seen as a hero in Mexico became so popular. And we also know why he appeared after Chad Gable got injured. There's no need to explain or elaborate. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Charles Edward Betts, Chad Gable, for what he did with what was given to him. He gave us a Rudo we loved to hate. He gave us some máscara designs that will never be forgotten. He was a professional wrestler who became a luchador profesional without missing a beat. He gave us a feud and a final match as El Grande Americano that will be remembered for many years. And yes, Chad, even if we don't say it often or out loud, everyone in Mexico and in the rest of the world knows and vows to the original Grande Americano. I hope you enjoyed this week's video as much as I enjoyed making it. You can join me in the comments thanking Chad Gable for what he did with El Grande Americano, hoping that one day he may watch this video and read the comments. I'm Eric and you can follow me to learn more about Lucha Libre, and I will see you in the next video.